Good morning. Today is a beautiful day to move your body, so let's begin. Today's session is mostly about balance, but we're going to start out by moving our bodies and getting a bit limber, ready to be a bit more able to do the exercises. So let's start by bringing our arms up and over, and then we're going to swing down. Bend your legs and up and over, and swing down. So we're just trying to get a bit of movement here, so it's just a up and swing, let it hang, up and swing. If this is making you feel a little bit lightheaded, just don't go as far, and up and swing. Let's try and take some deep breaths. Breath in, and as you come down, breathe out. Arch back as far as you can. Bend down. One more. Okay, now we're going to let it hang like we have previously, and we're going to hang. You can either hold each opposite arm, and we want to try and straighten your legs a little bit. So as you do this, and as you've seen in the past, we're going to try and straighten our legs a little bit, just to put a bit of stretch in that back leg. Now you may only get from here to here, and that's okay. Just try and straighten and stretch while you hang. By hanging, you're releasing your low back and you're giving it a chance to move. So just remember, you can rock from side to side as you do this, but I want you to also try and straighten those legs a little bit. So you might have to come up a little bit in order to do that. Just do it at your level. You're just getting a bit of movement, bit of stretch. Don't forget to breathe. Never hold your breath when you're doing this or you'll feel lightheaded. If you are prone to being a little bit lightheaded, have something nearby that you can hold on to so that you don't get too dizzy, depending on your level. A little bit more. All right, hold your legs in as much of a stretch as you can. Let your whole body hang low. Flop from side to side. And then I want you to bend your knees on this next one. We're actually going to come up. I'll come closer so you can see me. We're going to come into what's called a chair position. Now this one does have a little bit of a burn, and it is a little bit challenging for those people with poor shoulder mobility. So what I want you to do, I'll show you from both angles. We're going to sit and bring our arms up above our head. Now if you can only bring it to here, that's fine. If you can go up higher, that's fine. I have a bit of shoulder mobility issues, so I can only come out and reach out in front of me. But I want you to follow the gaze of where your arms are. If I show you on the side, and we're using our muscles in our legs like we're sitting back in a chair. Bring your arms up. If you need to come up and re-sit down, go for it. But we're going to try and do this for the next 20 seconds. So you do what you need to if you need to. It's going to burn a little bit. 20, 19, 18, 17. Really challenge yourself. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Remember, you can come up if you need to. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, keep your shoulders down. 6, 5, 4, let it burn. 3, 2, 1. Oh, well done. Now that one's a tough one, but that will really start to get those legs moving and really start to heat up those quad muscles, ready to do some exercises. Now, as I said before, a lot of what we're doing today is about balance. So I want you to, for a second, while we catch our breath, take a moment, shoulders back and down, relax your arms by your side, and what we're going to actually do is just take a moment, shut our eyes, and we're going to just try and rock from leg to leg. So we're going to actually take the foot just off the ground so that we have to put all our weight on one leg, but we're going to shut our eyes to do it, and it's much harder when you shut your eyes. It's about balance. Now, if your balance is really poor, I want you to do this with your eyes open. Find somewhere to look at, focus on a spot, and just rock from side to side. Remember, Breathing, nice relaxed breath. Let your breath come back to its natural rhythm. But if you have got the ability, I want you now to try and do this exercise with your eyes shut. Much harder to do. You don't have to stand on the leg for very long. We're just working on balance. Now, to get this really well, I want you to lock your core in. I want you to think about engaging that pelvis, stabilizing your leg. So we want to use that quad. We want to lock things in. Even if you have to tap your foot down like I've just done and bring it up again. And we're not doing really big movements here, they're just little ones. Really big ones will make you fall over. So little movements, little rocks. If you need to, some people find it easier to pop their arms out to the side. Some people find it easier to put their arms on their hips. Find your level. Nice breaths. We're going to do 2 more on each leg. Last ones on each leg. Take your time. Doesn't seem like much, opening your eyes, but it is actually a big deal, and it does make you feel quite unbalanced when you do that. But it's a very good challenge for you. Now, one of the big things about balance is stable and strong legs and stable and strong core. So that's something we're focusing a little bit on today. Now, we've just done a little bit of basic balance, and now what we're going to do is actually using a bench or a stool or whatever you've got handy. I want you to do what we've done before, is bringing yourself down onto something you can sit on and then bringing yourself up, but doing it just with one leg and trying to balance the whole time. Now, this is challenging, so I would give you levels. First level is heel on the ground, just your heel, and bringing yourself down. So you've got one leg that's working more than the other, but you're still working on balance. And we bring ourselves up. So you can push a little bit through your heel, but most of the pushing comes from the leg that's on the ground flat. And you want to push your bottom back, sit down. We're actually going to sit this time and push through that leg and standing. So push your bottom back, sit yourself down, push through, standing. Now, if you want the next level, I want you to take that leg that you've got that's just as a balance leg off the ground, bring it down, then push through and stand up, okay? So it is much harder, and then when you're standing there, you've got to try and balance as well. Obviously, if you're standing there and you can't do that without just resting your leg, you can let it go and then bring it up again when you go to sit down. Remember, always sit bottom, back first, and down. Now you can use your hands so that you feel your seat below you as you go to push up. 2 more on that leg. And last one. And push up. It's really going to burn that leg. Now we're going to switch to the other side. We have done this before, but it's a very good one because it works each leg individually. So remember, level 1, foot with your heel on the ground. Bottom back, sitting down. Straight back up again. Push through that quad. Bottom back, sitting down. We're only just perching for a second so that we're still using that muscle, because what we don't want to do is sit down and completely relax. We want to keep this muscle engaged as much as we can so that it is constantly working and building strength. Straight back up again. I don't let that one relax. Straight back up again. Now remember, if you're up to the next level, bring it off the ground, balance yourself, and down you go. Remember, if you get to the top and you're wobbly, just place your heel down for a second, pull it up, bottom back, sit down. Up, bottom back, sit down. That's the way. Now I want you to do 2 more there, but I'm going to just show you, for anybody who has much poorer mobility, if you really struggle with that, I want you to get a chair that has armrests. And with this one, you can do exactly the same exercise, but you're going to actually hold on to that. So where we had our leg forward, I'll show you with this leg, we're going to keep our heel on the floor, because if you need armrests, I suggest you need your heel on the floor to make this work. But you're still going to be working that quad. And you're going to bring your bottom back. This is the most important. We do not want to go like this. We're going to bring our bottoms back. So we're leaning forward. We can bring our hands down and then bring our bottom down and then push back up again using those arms if you need to. Push back up. But the challenge here is that when we do that, we want to use our hands to push up like that. But actually, that's not the area we're trying to work. So the hands are just there as a guide. You want to use your calf. So you want to push forward as much as you can on that calf. The hands are just there as a guide so you don't fall over. Push through. And when you push through, I want to show you, you lean forward to push through so that all your weight comes down onto that calf. So that's for those people who need that additional support. Well, I don't know about you, but my quad muscle, I said calf before, I meant my quad. My quad muscle has worked quite hard just then. Now, we're going to do some more exercises. So we did one before where we were in a chair pose, like so. They call it a chair pose in the world of yoga and Pilates. Now we're going to actually do a bit more of a twist with our chair pose. Now it's a bit of a challenge. Both legs are on the ground. This will help with your low back and it will open things up a bit, but we're actually going to bring our hands to what we call prayer. And from here, with our legs bent, now remember, you do your level of legs. If you can only do a little bit, or if you can do more, the more you do, the more it will burn, the more you will work. Do it at your level. Hands to prayer. Push your hands in together, your palms in together. And we're actually going to turn our bodies. And if you can, I want you to put your opposite elbow behind your opposite thigh. Like that. So you're twisting and you're pushing into it so that you're pushing away. And I want you to take a deep breath there. And this is a really good back stretch, side stretch, glute stretch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I want you to come forward and just flop for a second. Take a deep breath, take it in and out. All right, back into chair pose again, and we're going to go to the opposite side. Same thing, opposite elbow to opposite thigh. Looking the way your arms are going gives you more of a stretch through that low back. And push yourself around, push those arms together. Take a deep breath. I'm going to show those people who cannot get to their knee an alternative now, and that is simply coming up higher and just twisting. Same principle. So if you were this side, just pushing your arms together and twisting. Okay? If you can get down lower, you will get more of a twist. 3, 2, 1. Flop it down. And let's gently roll up. And for our next part of our exercises, I'm going to use a mat. Like I said before, carpet works really well. Towel on a carpet, towel on a hard surface works well, just to support and protect your joints. So I'm going to give you a second now, if you don't have it already, to grab yourself a mat or a towel. I'm also going to suggest, if you have one, it would be helpful for the next little bit to have a ball of some description, but you don't need it. I can show you an alternative without the ball. So if this is you now and you need to run and get those things, press pause, go and get them, and then come back and press play. Okay, if you're back with me and you've got your mat, your towel, or you're on the carpet, make sure whatever you are on, it's nice and stable for the next bit. And if you've got a ball, you won't need the ball straight away, but just have it beside you ready to go for later. Okay, to start with, we're going to come down onto our mat. So again, we're going to use balance, we're going to use core strength for this one. So with this one, we're going to start up, nice stretch up to the sky. Stretch your fingers as far away from you as you can. Deep breath in. And on your exhale, I want you to flop forward like we've been doing. Except we're going to come, bending your knees. You won't be able to do this straight legged unless you've got great flexibility. Bend your knees. I want you to come onto your mat. But this time we're going to try doing what we call a down dog. We have done this before. Bottoms in the air, hands on the mat. Just for a moment, and we're going to push our bottoms away. And if you need to, you can walk the dog. You can use, I'll show you side on. You can use this moment to walk the dog. But we're just giving a nice wee stretch. You can only, if you can only do it for a minute, just do it for a minute. And then we're going to come straight down onto all fours. Okay. Take a minute, catch your breath. And we have done this one before, but it's one where you've got your opposite arm and your opposite leg coming out in front of you. Now remember last time I said, and I'm going to say it again, level 1 is just using your leg. Now the idea behind this is, and I'll show you side on, do not arch your back. You want a nice flat tabletop so that you could balance a cup of water on it. And you want to push your leg out the back. If you have enough mobility that you think you can, I want you to try and extend the opposite arm so that you have to really engage your balance. Now, that means drawing your tummy button in towards your spine. I want you to look down at the floor with this. Now, if you can't do it fully or for very long, I want you to tap down and come straight back up again. Tap down and straight back up again. But if you can manage to hold it, I want you to hold it. It means pushing through the opposite wrist. It means grabbing that tummy and pushing your belly button gently towards your spine. It means a flat back. It means engaging your glute. Push your foot away from you. You will find that easier. Reach your hand away from you like you're trying to grab something. Remember, you can tap it down if you need to. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Now we're going to swap sides. So come back to center. Before we swap sides, we're going to do a little cat-cow. So pushing your head up, arching your back as much as you can. And then we're going to, flexing your back as much as you can. Now we're going to arch up. Bring your tummy in towards your spine. Bring your head down so that you're arching as much as you can. And then I want you to go back into a cat-cow and then back under. Now, opposite arm. Remember we did whatever arm you did last time. I want you to try to do the opposite this time. Now remember, step 1 or stage 1, level 1 is just doing your leg. Hold your leg. I don't want to see you balancing and leaning to one side. You need to stay central on both hands if you're not using the opposite hand. You need to push your foot away. You need to have a flat back. Draw your belly button into your spine. Push that foot away and looking straight down. Neutral spine from your head right through to your tailbone. Now, stay level 2. Try and bring your hand out. Now, it does require a little bit more engagement of your core. Keep your head neutral spine. Hand out. Remember, if you need to, tap. Tap. This is level 2 modified. Tap. It also works your muscles, so it's not a problem to do this. It's actually an alternative, but it also works those muscles. So tapping. Remember, engage your glute, engage your core. Push away. Now if you want to hold it out there, you go for it. 5, 4, 3, keep that balance. 2, you've got this. 1, well done. Back into neutral on all fours. Take a moment, and we're going to sit back a little bit for those who can. If you can't, remember, use a cushion in between your knees and your bottom in here. I forgot to bring one out today, but you put a cushion in there. If you can do it where you sit back onto your heels, do that, and stretch your arms out in front and into what we call the child's pose, and take a few deep breaths here just to bring our breath back to normal. All right, now balance, there's so many exercises you can do with balance, and I've already gone over time, but I'd like to give you a couple more, if I may. Now remember, if it's too long an exercise session for you, stop and come back to it later. But let's challenge yourself a little bit today and make it a slightly longer session than you have before. So at this point, I've sat myself down onto my mat. So find a way down onto your mat at in your time. If you've got a ball, we're actually going to place the ball behind our low back, and we're sort of going to push into it and squish into it. Now, if you don't have a ball, you don't have to do it with that. You can just sit up and do it this way. So I'll show you both ways now. So if you've got a ball, squish it right into that low back, so you're kind of leaning into it. It does create a little bit of low back support. You can try with a folded cushion as well. It does work, but it will need to be a reasonably big and reasonably firm folded cushion. Now, at this point, I want you to try and stretch out your legs. To move back a little bit, stretch out your legs. Now, if you can't put them completely flat, just give them a little bit of a angle. And what we're going to do here is sit ourselves back into a bit of a reclined position with our arms out in front of us, and we're going to rock forward, just using our core. So I want you to, for a second, to have one arm forward and one arm placed on your stomach to see if you can feel it engaging as you sit up. If it's not, I want you to try harder to really consciously use that tummy to sit up so you can feel it activating. Alright? So it's a little bit of a bounce, but I don't want you to use it as a bounce. I want you to reach forward with your hands and use your core. Now if you don't have a ball, you can still do this. It's a little bit harder, but you're going to just bring yourself back a little bit and rock forward. If you are really struggling with that and you don't have a cushion or anything to place behind your back, can I suggest find something to put your heels underneath to give yourself a little bit of support in that way, and it will make the exercise a little bit easier as you rock back and forth. If you want to challenge yourself, take the ball out and do it without the ball for a little bit of increased core there. So remember, if we're using the ball, it will look like this, and we're just bringing ourselves forward using our stomachs. We're actually working our inner and our outer abdominal muscles here. It's a good exercise, even though it doesn't feel like you're doing as much. And we're doing this to strengthen our core so that when we have balance, we can balance better. Remembering also that if you don't need something with your feet underneath, really challenges you. So it's about your level of challenge. But remember, you're going to really work that core. So you might find you're a little bit sore in your core tonight, and that's a good thing. This kind of pain, so long as you've done it correctly, is not a bad thing. It's not, you need to think of that kind of level of discomfort as a good level of discomfort. Okay, let's just do 5 more rocks. 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Okay, and for our final exercise today, I want to do something that works our balance but also works our glutes. So this one is called a glute bridge. Now I'm going to show you a few levels for this one. First level, We have done these before, but first level is to push both heels into the ground and lift your bottom. I'll show you side on as well. Both heels into the ground and lift your bottom. Now, you do not have to lift as high as I am. If it's only to there, that's fine, so long as you feel it activating. Now, be aware, if your legs are too close to your body, you'll feel a real big pull down your quad. So you need to have them at about a 45-degree angle to really work and feel it working in your glutes. If you're feeling it more in your hamstrings, you need to bring your legs closer. If you're feeling it more in your quads, you need to bring your legs further out to get to that nice 45-degree where you can feel your glutes activating. But I want to challenge you right now from this position. This is all about balance. So I want to challenge you to take one of your feet, and I'll show you with the closest leg, and put your heel on it so you're not really using that leg now, and just push through one leg at a time. It's much harder. And we're going to just come up, hold it for 2 seconds, 1, 2, and then come back down. 1, 2. Now keep your hands beside you, keep your shoulders. I find if you just bring your shoulder blades together at the back, it actually helps a little bit. 1, 2. Now I'm going to give you, for anyone who's watching who's a little bit more advanced, an alternative. You can actually bring your leg off the ground and push up. 1, 2, and back down. Push up. 1, 2. Really engage your core and back down. So remember, 2 feet flat. 1, 2. Heel on the ground. 1, 2. Leg up. 1, 2. Let's do 2 more on that side. 1, 2. 1, 2. Let's do one more for those who are doing the extended. 1, 2. And now we're going to switch sides. So you're looking straight ahead. Adjust your shoulders if you need to. Okay, 2 legs. Get it moving. Push up. 1, 2. Now remember, if you're going to start to use just your this main leg, then you're going to put your heel on the ground first. That's level 1. Sorry, that's level 2, I should say. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now let's, for those who want to be challenged, bring that leg all the way off the ground, push through. Now it does require more core. 2, and down. But you'll really feel a burn in both your quads, hammies and glutes. 2. 1, 2. Okay, 3 more. So we've got our on the ground. 1, 2, both legs. We've got our heel on the ground. 1, 2, and then last one if you're doing this one. 1, 2. Bring it down. All right. Big workout today. Take a moment, lie yourself on your mat, stretch your arms above your head if you can. If you can't stretch them all the way, you can do it as a bent arm, but try and stretch them away. Try and push your feet away at the other end or your heels away. Have a bit of a stretch. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. I want you to roll to your side. Remember, safety, getting up. Push yourself up. Sit for a second. Find your level. If it's like this, doesn't really matter. Just sit for a second. Take a breath. Gather yourself. Make sure you're not feeling lightheaded. And for your final thing, I want you to try and get yourself onto your all fours like we've done before. And we're going to get up, remember, without holding on to anything. If you have to still hold on, you're not quite ready for that, get yourself close to something to hold on to it to help you up. But if you can, I want you to be on all fours, 1 leg, 2 legs, and use those legs. Use it or lose it, as they say. Up we come, nice and tall. Take a moment, make sure you're not wobbly. If you are feeling wobbly, take a moment, grab something to hold on to. Perhaps take a seat on a chair. Take a few deep breaths to get some more oxygen into your brain. Breathing out. 1 more big deep breath. and out. Part of the reason we feel giddy at times is because of the decreased amount of oxygen that gets to our brain as we pump our heart when our hearts are not working as well. So sometimes we just need to stop, take a few really deep breaths and get the oxygen back to the brain. Let the heart calm down a bit. And that is my Move Your Body session today. Hope you have a great day. Please remember this is the start of your journey. Get outside, go for a walk, take the dog for a walk, and keep moving your body. See you next time.